You don't start your career in Delta Force. Nobody does. To even be considered, you have to already be at the absolute peak of the conventional military. We're talking about the highest tier of Army Rangers and Green Berets. By the time a potential recruit is 25, their resume is already packed. They've likely survived multiple combat deployments, pulling security on a remote mountainside in Afghanistan or kicking in doors in Iraq. At this point, they are usually an E5 or E6 sergeant. They are highly decorated, deeply respected leaders within the regular army. They know exactly how good they are at their jobs, and the soldiers around them know it too. But right at the moment they reach what most people consider the pinnacle of a military career, they get an invitation to throw it all away, give up their status, and start over at the very bottom. The invitation usually arrives as a completely vague notice pinned to a bulletin board at Fort Bragg. There's no unit name, no logo, and no patch. It just calls for candidates interested in a special operations unit that, officially, does not exist. If you show up to the recruitment briefing, the man at the front of the room tells you almost nothing. He won't say what they do, where they deploy, or what gear they carry. All he tells you is that the historical failure rate for the selection course is above 90%. This absolute lack of public recognition or glory is the first real filter. It weeds out anyone looking for praise. The only person who steps into the dark here is someone driven by a deep, psychological need to find the hardest possible challenge. Selection takes place in the harsh terrain of the Appalachian Mountains. The entire course is designed to systematically strip away every external support system a soldier has ever relied on and find out what is left underneath. It will break the body, but the primary target is the mind. The physical demands escalate daily, culminating in a brutal 40-mile solo land navigation course. Candidates march alone through the mountains, carrying a 45-pound pack, plus their water and weapon. But the true test is what operators call the silence. There is no drill sergeant yelling at you to move faster. The grading cadre offers zero encouragement, zero correction, and they never tell you how much further you have to go. This total indifference is devastating. It forces candidates to generate every ounce of motivation from within. Faced with that void, dozens of the military's most elite soldiers simply sit down on the side of the trail, raise their hand, and quit. Of the original class, maybe 10% will be selected. And when they get the news, they don't feel joy or pride. Exhaustion leaves room for only one realization. The hardest thing they have ever done is merely the baseline for what comes next. Next is the 6-month operator training course, where they learn close quarters battle at a level of precision conventional units don't even have a name for. They violently breach doors and clear rooms using live ammunition right next to live role players, because Delta does not accept simulated consequences. This is also where they transition from soldiers to spies. Operators learn advanced tradecraft, studying how to move through denied foreign cities in civilian clothes, blending in while gathering intelligence. This diagram illustrates how the unit breaks the traditional mold. Inside Delta, the rigid military org chart collapses into a flat row. They operate on a flat hierarchy, where an operator's competence and capability mean drastically more than the official rank pinned to their collar. This places an immense burden directly on the small team leader. In a dark hallway, they have a fraction of a second to decide whether an object in someone's hand is a weapon or a phone. That single choice will then be dissected by generals and lawyers for months. The unit abandons rigid rank structures for a simple reason. Waiting on a commander's permission during close quarters battle gets people killed. They trade conventional military authority for absolute, localized accountability. Once deployed, the mechanics of a raid rely on complete surprise. Teams use specialized aviation to drop blacked-out helicopters onto impossibly tight urban rooftops in the dead of night. During the peak of operations in Iraq, the operational tempo reached a blistering pace. Squadrons were conducting 10 to 15 raids every single night across massive, sprawling urban environments. This flowchart illustrates their continuous intelligence loop. Operators hit a compound, exploit the site, and pass data to analysts. The data gathered dictates the next target. As that cycle spins faster, commanders manage the invisible human cost. They are leading men who absorb the extreme physical and mental toll of sustained combat, operating in a culture that strictly forbids them from ever admitting they are tired. When an operator finally retires after decades of service, the exit is completely silent. There are no parades and no press releases. Their official military record will simply carry a fabricated cover story, claiming they worked a desk job at Fort Bragg. They leave with a severe inventory of physical damage. They walk away with blown eardrums, joints rebuilt with titanium, and vertebrae compressed from thousands of helicopter insertions. Injuries they stubbornly refer to as workarounds rather than limitations. Returning to civilian life creates a jarring paradox. An operator might find themselves standing in a brightly lit grocery store aisle, listening to a man argue about a coupon, while their brain flashes to the last dark compound it cleared. The two realities cannot be reconciled. Because the unit's work is heavily classified, the culture of silence holds long after retirement. Operators cannot explain the things they've seen or the trauma they carry to anyone outside their team, leaving them deeply isolated from normal society. The ultimate unwritten price for achieving absolute tactical perfection is the permanent forfeiture of a normal human life. But right now, somewhere at Fort Liberty, a new 26-year-old soldier with 4 combat deployments is standing in front of a bulletin board, reading a nameless recruitment notice. He doesn't know about the physical devastation, the broken relationships, or the profound isolation that awaits him. He only knows where to show up, and he will. Because the best soldiers will always walk toward the hardest challenge they can find, just to see if they